All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and here we go again with lying Kamala Harris. Have y'all ever noticed something that when her and Tim Walz get called out on something, they always try to bring it back to Donald Trump? Oh, it's Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump did this. Donald Trump did that. But yet when Donald Trump was president, there was no wars. Inflation wasn't skyrocketing. The borders was closed. But yet they always trying to find a way in their interviews to blame Donald Trump for everything. And people see right through it. Now, Kamala just had her worst interview yet. Now, I'm checking this out by Dr. Steve Turley because, to be honest with you, I didn't even want to go over the whole entire video. I think it was like 20-some minutes of Kamala Harris, and I didn't want to hear all that lying, blaming it on Trump, that word salad. So we're going to check out this from Dr. Steve Turley, where he took out certain parts where Kamala Harris, and I can't believe CBS actually did follow-up questions, pretty much saying she was an illegitimate president because she didn't earn anything. It was just given to her. She didn't have to get in line or go against other candidates to earn her spot. It was just given to her. Donald Trump actually earned his. He went through the process. Kamala Harris didn't. So they actually called Kamala Harris out, and I can't believe it. So please hit that like button for me so more people can see this video. Is very important. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure you got your notifications turned to all so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this, man. Let's go. And y'all, if y'all notice anything, when Kamala Harris get pushed back on some stuff, you can just see she start to panic, like she just start to melt down, like, oh, I can't believe he pushing back, because everybody else be giving her them softball interviews. But she actually got pushed back. So let's go.
Tell you what your critics and the columnists say.
Okay.
They say that the reason so many voters don't know you is that you have changed your position on so many things.
Yep.
You were against fracking, now you're for it. You supported looser immigration policies, now you're tightening them up. You were for Medicare for all, now you're not. So many that people don't truly know what you believe or what you stand for. And I know you've heard that.
In the last 4 years, I have been Vice President of the United States. And I have been traveling our country. And I have been listening to folks and seeking what is possible in terms of common ground. I believe in building consensus.
Is you going to answer the question?
We are diverse people. Geographically, regionally, in terms of where we are in our backgrounds.
She ain't answering the question.
What the American people do want is that we have leaders who can build consensus, where we can figure out compromise and understand it's not a bad thing, as long as you don't compromise your values, to find common sense solutions. And that has been
She still ain't answered
my
the question.
approach.
And if you could believe it, it all went downhill from there. We're going to see how even the legacy media is starting to turn on Cackle's Kamala, and we're going to see precisely why they're turning and what it all means for November. You are not going to want to miss this. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell early. Kamala Harris took a break from appearing on smutty podcasts such as Call Her Daddy to sit down with Bill Whitaker on CBS's 60 Minutes. And let's just say, disastrous doesn't even begin to describe
I'm telling you.
The interview was highly edited, but no amount of editing could hide just how ill-prepared and incompetent Kamala really is. Here's Harris desperately trying to explain how she's actually going to pay for her domestic agenda.
You want to expand the child tax credit.
Yes, I do.
You want to give tax breaks to first-time home buyers.
Yes.
And people starting small businesses.
Correct.
But it is estimated by the Nonpartisan Committee for Responsible Federal Budget that your economic plan would add $3 trillion to the federal deficit over the next decade. How are you going to pay for that?
Okay, so the other economists that have reviewed my plan versus my opponent and determined that my economic plan would strengthen America's economy.
No, it's not.
His would weaken it.
Oh,
my
God.
plan, Bill, if you don't mind, my plan is about saying that when you invest in small businesses, you invest in the middle class, and you strengthen America's economy. Small businesses are part of the backbone
He
of
said, how you
America's
going to pay
economy.
for it?
But pardon me, Madam Vice President, the question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in
What
taxes.
the?
But we're dealing with the real world here.
But
Exactly.
the real world includes...
How are you going to get this through Congress?
You know, when you talk quietly with a lot of folks in Congress, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, what the hell do you mean when you talk? What the hell is she talking about when you talk quietly to Congress? So what that's supposed to mean? You just gonna go up in there and just whisper to them? Well, I mean, what do that mean when you talk? Oh man, come on, man. When you talk quietly to them, what does that mean? You gonna go in there and not yell? You're just gonna talk quietly and they just gonna pass it for you? This is just a train wreck, and we only 4 minutes in. This is crazy. Look at it. He was asking the question. He said, how are you going to get this through Congress? And she's going all the way around the circle with word salad. That's why I like when you get somebody that push back on her and not just let her say anything.
Because their constituents know exactly what I'm talking about.
In other words, she has no freaking clue.
Exactly.
I have no idea. I'm being asked a direct question. How would I pay for my own domestic agenda, and how would I get it passed through Congress? And my answer to both those questions is I literally have no idea. We'll be unburdened by what has been.
Yeah.
Again, it got worse. Here's Kamala getting confronted on the southern border.
I've been covering the border for years, and so I know this is not a problem that started with your administration.
Correct.
But there was an historic flood of undocumented immigrants coming across the border the first 3 years of your administration. As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled from the last year of President Trump. Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies as much as you did?
It's a long-standing problem. And solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
What I was
No,
asking
you have
was,
not.
Was it a mistake to kind of allow that?
Now, do y'all see what this guy has to do? He literally got it. Every time he asks her a question, he has to repeat it to her again. She is so used to going to these softball interviews where people don't give her any pushback and they can ask her a question and she'll just dance around it and they'll just go to the next question. This guy actually has to ask her the question 2 or 3 more times. Like, no, that ain't what I asked you. I asked you this. And then you can tell, look at her face expression when he do that, look at her face expression every single time she gets upset. This woman do not like to be challenged. She just feel like she can just go to any interviewer or people that interview and just give them word salad. How's you going to pay for this? You talking about giving somebody this much money? How's you going to get it past Congress? How you going to pay for this? She have no idea at all how she going to do anything. I mean, she's not worth being in office.
Flood to happen in the first place.
I think the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem. Okay?
But the numbers did quadruple.
Yes.
And the numbers
under your
today,
watch.
because of what we have done, we have cut the flow of illegal immigration by half.
But should you
we
have
have
done
cut
that?
the
Should you
flow
have
of
done that?
fentanyl by half, but we need Congress to be able to act, to actually fix.
I see what she's doing. She's trying to blame, if y'all notice, she's trying to blame everything on Congress. This is what she's doing now. Now she want to blame everything on Congress. It's not Kamala and Joe Biden fault, it's Congress now. This woman can't answer a single question. She got to blame it on either Donald Trump or she got to blame it on Congress. She ain't taking no blame. He asked, was it a mistake? You left that border up. Was it a mistake? She can't even say, you know what? Yeah, it was a mistake. We should have closed it. Blah, blah, blah. She can't even do that. She got to blame it on somebody or either lie or give you word salad every single time. And we sick of it. This is crazy.
It's the problem.
You know, when even the legacy media seems to have grown tired and impatient with these obvious non-answers.
Yep.
And blatant evasion attempts. Let's just say if you're a Democrat, that's not good. When you've tried even the patience of the legacy media, something is happening to your candidacy. I mean, you heard him. Arrivals have quadrupled. Illegal immigration quadrupled under your administration. 400% increase. You just said you're about fixing problems, not creating problems, but you objectively did.
Yep.
You created that problem.
Leaving the border
And
open.
I'm asking, is there any semblance of self-reflection of what you could have done differently to have prevented that? And her response was, Congress has to act. I mean, think about that.
This is crazy.
Think about that answer. Congress has to act. This is a woman who out of one side of her mouth tells us she's going to do all these things. She has a plan for all of these initiatives that she could implement right now, by the way, given her position. But let's forget that. No, she's promising that she will do all these things as president out of one side of her mouth. Then out of the other side of her mouth, she's constantly blaming Congress for impeding what she wants to get done.
That's what I said.
Well, which is it?
This is crazy.
Seriously, which is it? Are you going to implement all these new and wonderful things that you do everything you possibly can not to explain? Or are all of these wonderful things going to be obstructed by Congress like what they supposedly did at the border? In other words, is the chaos of the border going to be a symbol of your presidency? You can't promise you're going to do all these wonderful things while at the same time blaming Congress for having thwarted those very things. Both can't be true.
But the thing is, she's trying to make everything like sound good. I'm gonna do this for first-time home buyers. I'm gonna give this $5,000-$6,000 to people who just had a baby. You know, just stuff. What Kamala Harris is doing, she's just saying stuff to make it sound good, to make people want to vote for her. She's not going to. That's what I be trying to tell people who trying to vote for Kamala Harris. She's not going to do any of these things that she's telling you. She's only telling you what she wants you to hear. She only telling you something that you will like, but she's not going to, just like how she blaming Congress now, if she can't get it passed, the first thing she's going to do is she get in office. Well, I tried to get it passed, but Congress wouldn't let me. She's going to blame it on somebody. This woman has no plan at all. No plan to help anybody. If she was going to do this for people, if she's going to try to help first-time home buyers, she's in office now. Why don't she do it now? It's people out there trying to buy houses now. Why won't she do that now? To try to help first-time home buyer. Why is she trying to get you to elect her? Then she's going to do it. When she can do it now, she's the vice president. This woman is a liar.
Things seem to prepare Cackles Kamala for this.
Was democracy best served by President Biden stepping down and basically handing you a nomination? You didn't have to go through a primary process. You didn't have to fight off other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
He pretty much calling her an illegitimate president. That's pretty much what he's saying, is that you didn't even earn your spot. And he even saying that that's not how it's supposed to work. See, the thing is, I guarantee you the Democrat would have tried to have a problem if that would have been on the Republican side. That the Democrat would win and all of a sudden they tried to swap somebody out, put this person in. Oh, they'll be having a meltdown if that would have happened. But on their side, they can just do whatever they want. This woman didn't go through the process. She didn't have any challengers. She didn't win any delegates, nothing. It was just given to her. They kicked Joe Biden out after Joe Biden said he didn't even want to leave. He wanted to stay in and they kicked him out. And now she's trying to remove herself from Joe Biden. But if y'all been paying attention, the woke media been upset with Joe Biden because they keep saying that Kamala is trying to get away from Joe Biden, but Joe Biden keep coming out with these statements saying that everything that he did, Kamala was a part of it. So they trying to get Joe Biden to stop talking about how Kamala was so close to him in every decision that he made. It is just crazy. I mean, they are panicking right now. But let's take that back. Let's go.
Other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
Nope.
President Biden made a decision that
Joe Biden didn't make no damn decision. He did not make no decision. The Democrats made that decision to pull that man out of there. Joe Biden didn't make that decision. Joe Biden said he wanted to stay in. You knew they was going to put him out there and you was going to take his spot. This is, I mean, come on, man. This woman is just a straight liar. Joe Biden never stepped down. Nancy Pelosi, all of them forced that man out. Why don't she just tell the truth and say that Nancy Pelosi did the Democrats, they forced him out. He didn't just step down. They made him get out. Because they said they weren't going to, remember they froze the funds and everything. They weren't going to pay for no more of his campaigns and stuff. They forced him out. He didn't just drop out. She's already lying.
I think history is going to show is rare among leaders, which was to put country before self.
Country before self.
I am proud to have earned
You ain't
the
earned
support
nothing.
of the vast majority of delegates and
What?
to have been elected.
You didn't win no delegates. You didn't get elected. Quit lying, Kamala Harris. You didn't earn nothing. You didn't go through the process of it. You didn't earn any delegates. Nobody voted for you. You sitting up there just telling a lie. It's just a shame how this woman just sit here and lie. And the only thing she want to do every single day that we got to listen to is this crap here. That's the only thing she do. She sit up here talking about she earned. You ain't earned nothing. Y'all kicked that man out and they gave you his spot and you didn't have to fight for it. You didn't have to go through no processes.
The Democratic nominee. I am proud to have received the endorsement of leaders around this country from every background and walk of life to fight in this election over the next month for our democracy.
Oh, God.
But I think this truncated process is why people think or say they don't really know who you are.
Look, I've been in this race for 70 days.
That was devastating. And you could tell she literally had no idea. Well, I mean, like, that's unique. But for that one, she in particular had no idea how to even remotely respond to that level of scrutiny, apart from just defaulting to cheap talking points and cliches. Again, make sure you get what he just said there. Madam Vice President, you were appointed, you were not elected as the nominee.
Exactly.
It does appear that you are an illegitimate candidate. And you're claiming that you're the protector of democracy when your very candidacy is itself an affront to the democratic process. And
There you go,
that's
right
pretty
there.
devastating stuff. And it wasn't just Kamala. CBS even confronted Elmer Fudd himself.
In your debate with J.D. Vance, you said, I'm a knucklehead at times. And I think you were referring to the time that you said that you were in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square unrest when you were not.
Yeah.
Is that kind of misrepresentation, isn't that more than just being a knucklehead?
I think folks know who I am, and I think they know that.
Why he always, man, I'm so sick of that crap. Don't y'all know that this liar, him and Kamala got the same talking points when they get caught on and they lie? Oh, you know, people know who I am. People know who I am. He always started off when they call him out on lying. He always used the word I misspoke. No, I promise you, if I ever get a chance to interview him or Kamala Harris, I'm going to call it like it is. I'm like, look, Governor Walz, I ain't going to lie. You was a damn lie. You didn't misspoke. You didn't misspeak at all. You was lying. I don't want to hear that misspoke crap. He used the same word when he talking about he went to war. I misspoke. Sometimes my wife had to check my grammar. Every time he lied, he said he misspoke. Instead of saying I just told a lie, he just want to use I misspoke to think people just gonna let it go. Like, come on, I am so sick of that crap. People know who I am. Watch this. He does this every interview. He get called out. He started off with, look, people know who I am. They know where I stand. Minnesota, they elected me 8 times. It's the same crap.
You were in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square unrest when you were not.
Yeah.
Is that kind of misrepresentation, isn't that more than just being a knucklehead?
I think folks know who I am, and I think they know the difference between someone expressing emotion, telling a story, getting a date wrong rather than a pathological liar like Donald Trump.
Oh my God. Hey, this is another thing he do. He take everything back to Donald Trump. So you lied about war. You lied about that. You lied about going to Hong Kong. And you sitting in that chair calling Donald Trump a pathological liar. When you've been lying ever since you... See, the problem is, he's been lying ever since he's been elected. He tried to use... He went to war, he deployed and all that. He tried to use all that to win people over. And come to find out he lied about that. He never told a gun, shot a gun in war. He never did any of that. He never went to Hong Kong. He lied about that. This man lies about everything. He even said he was friends with school shooters. And how you going to call Donald Trump a pathological liar when you've been sitting up here lying the entire time? Oh, my God.
Rather than a pathological liar like Donald Trump.
But I think it comes down to the question of whether you can be trusted to tell the truth.
Yeah, well, I can. I think I can.
No, you can't.
I will own up to being a knucklehead at times.
No, you're a
but
liar.
The folks closest to me know that I keep my word.
No,
so
you
make
don't.
sure you understand what
Oh
Elmer
my
Fudd
God.
just said there. If you're a knucklehead, and a passionate one at that, right? If you're a passion-filled knucklehead, you can claim that you were in China during the Tiananmen Square protests when you actually weren't. Remember, Walz didn't say that he visited Hong Kong in the shadow of those protests or in the aftermath of those protests. No, he claimed he was there during the protests, which objectively he was not.
So he lied.
But according to Walz and Harris, that's okay as long as you're a knucklehead. And it's better if you're a passionate one. I mean, just because I lied here and there doesn't make me a pathological liar like Donald Trump. And what's so... just keeps getting better. What's so interesting here is that Tim Walz, who likes to think of himself as passionate, he appears to be completely unaware that pathological comes from the root word pathos, which means, I kid you not, passionate. So I guess he's allowed to be passionate, but Donald Trump isn't. No, Trump isn't passionate, he's pathological. But I'm passionate, but I'm a knucklehead. Again, that episode, which I remind you was highly edited, but even then, it really did appear as if CBS just started growing tired of this comical level of rhetorical absurdity from both Harris and Walz. And as I watched that disaster, I thought about a very interesting article by journalist Alana Newhouse of Tablet magazine, who described our politics and society as being marred by what she calls brokenism. It's a nice term there, brokenism. From Katrina to COVID, from fire in Gulf Maui to flood-ravaged North Carolina, more and more people are recognizing that our public institutions and government agencies are profoundly dysfunctional.
Yep.
The entirety of our establishment, the legacy media, academia, federal bureaucracy, they are all characterized by an epidemic of stagnation, incompetence, and decay. Typified, of course, by none other than President Biden himself. I've always said Biden is an embodiment. He is a lived-out symbol of our decrepit and decaying establishment. And so according to Newhouse, our politics, particularly for this November, is increasingly being realigned according to two overall groups, what she calls brokenness on the one side and status quoists on the other. So brokenness, like us, they believe our regime is shattered beyond repair. It simply cannot be reformed, so it's got to be replaced. And we need something like the shock treatment of a Trump and an Elon and an RFK, right? These total outsiders to get that done. But on the other side, you have what she calls status quoists. And here's the key with the status quoists. And it'll be very interesting if you come across somebody like this and you engage them in a conversation. What's so interesting about them is they recognize that our institutions are indeed broken. They see it. They see.
Yep. Dr. Steve Turley, he is exactly right. But like I said, we'll stop it right there. I definitely wanted to check. Because like I said, I didn't even want to go through the whole interview. I didn't want to, because I already knew it was just going to be word salad. So, and I seen that Dr. Steve already had like certain parts where they, kind of checked her on and stuff. I can't sit here and listen to a whole entire Kamala Harris interview no more. Forget that crap. But like I said, thank you all for watching. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.